Yeah, I thought last weekend I called it an excuse weekend. We were playing two good teams. It was fall break, or I'm sorry, it was midterms last week. We'd been on the road 2 weekends, and so my challenge to them was we weren't going to make excuses and needed to play well against two. Nova was tied for first in the league with us, and St. John's obviously has a lot of pieces. So I was really pleased with how they played for the most part. I thought especially against St. John's, our first contacts were really good, which has been a priority. And then we got to stick around in New York and saw Hamilton and had a great day. And then they've been off. It's fall break, so we gave them yesterday off. And Monday and Tuesday they were fully off, and we'll get back at it this afternoon.
Had you seen Hamilton before?
I had. I was only one of 3 in our entire group that had seen it.
Oh,
Yeah.
reaction.
What was?
From the team reaction.
Oh, I think they loved it. Yeah. We tried to play some Hamilton music during practice, and then I tried to do it on game day and Friday, and Kiara totally nixed that.
Yeah.
She was like, "No, we have to play our game day music." So, I will tell you, with a team full of seniors, I've lost total control. I really don't make a lot of decisions at this point.
I can tell by the uniform. That's probably a good thing, though, isn't it?
Luckily, they're really great young women, so they generally make pretty good decisions. So.
Hey, I know this is so far from what worries you, but you're stuck on 6, right? I mean, you can only do what you can do, and you're sweeping every match. Is that really frustrating?
No, because I really don't lock into that. I'm much more consumed with the RPI, the KPI, those things that the metrics that the committee will be using, and we're 3 in that. So I think, we need the teams that we've played to continue to win matches, and then we got to take care of our things. And, we've got a long road ahead of us. So it's really locking into getting better and then just one match at a time.
How much better have you gotten since non-con ended? Now that you're kind of, a little way through the Big East, not yet at the halfway point, but that was always going to be the challenge.
Yeah.
Was like, how does this team improve when when you're not playing tough?
Well, I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to add a set here and there, a different shot here and there. So we're seeing some of those things. I don't know if the average fan would see it, just because it might be, we're adjusting an approach that we think might create a little bit of a different angle. So we're seeing some of those adjustments and continuing to work on those things. We're really locked into trying to continue to have offensive parity, which that's setter distribution, but it also, maybe more importantly, is how are we passing. So those are big priorities of where. And then also, like, if we're playing a team that is really good in a specific area, how do we attack a different area? And being prepared for those scenarios, what adjustments would we make? So I don't know if, I think right now we're just trying to be prepared for a lot of different things and work on little things. So if those things come to pass, we're ready to do it.
How much do those incremental details matter when you get to a stage where you have to face teams that are multifaceted? How much does the incremental things that you guys are doing right now and trying to implement, how much does that matter when it's time to when the big stage arrives?
Well, I think anytime you get to practice things, you become more comfortable. So I think, if we have a different game plan and we've never done it before, that can be uncomfortable for players. But if we can say, hey, this is what we did in these 2 matches, we've done this before, I think those things are beneficial.
Is that kind of what this time of year is about, or has become for you guys, is maybe trying to add in wrinkles to challenge yourselves, maybe more so than playing in St. John's or whatever it might be?
Well, again, these teams are very good teams. I think the thing that's missed some is the parity in our sport right now. If Creighton men's basketball was 10th in the country and playing a team that's, in the Big East that's not ranked, everyone would be like, this is going to be a tough match. Well, that's what, we're playing really good teams. We're the 5th best conference in the country. So, we're trying to always get better and have those things in mind, but we sure as heck aren't overlooking any of our opponents.
What's the key to keeping them mentally locked in? You talked about the improvement piece, obviously, but mentally, how do you learn to keep them locked into the Big East when you guys have kind of been on top of it for so long?
I just think we have a lot of maturity. We spend a lot of time understanding the value of each match. We talk about, again, I've said this before, resume builders, resume killers. And, we went into Nova and told them it was a resume builder, most likely, which I think automatically switches things a little bit for the team mentally. But they also know, a team that can play, Xavier's a great example. This team's starting to play a lot better. They have some really good pieces. Definitely could knock us off, but their RPI is going to really hurt us if they do. So they have to understand the maturity to show up every single night.
You've got two teams that are above 500 in the Big East coming in. What does he think that this is going to say? You mentioned, all the teams are playing in the Big East are good, they're quality opponents. So what about this week in particular?
Yeah, Xavier runs a super fast tempo. They returned some key cogs from last year. This is a team that beat us last year, so we will talk about that quite a bit. DePaul returns almost everyone, 6-2 offense, so a two-setter system, and has a kid that'll be up for Player of the Year on the outside. Anytime you have a kid that's that dominant, that makes you nervous because, sometimes a kid can take over a match, and they have one of the best liberos, so they're going to, be pretty good at defense and first contacts. It's a great example of, when you play a team that has a star player in a defensive position, how do you attack other areas? So that's, an example of trying to prepare for other teams. If we're playing another team that has a star libero in the NCAA tournament, we're comfortable saying, okay, we got to attack other areas of the court.
There's Pink Out this Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole Creighton thing, the initiative for all these sports, basketball, is kind of spread out. How cool is that you guys are able to raise money for such a worthy cause that needs the money in all of these sports?
Yeah, we did our first ever auction this year of jerseys, and it went over really well. We raised almost $10,000. We were really excited about that. I just think, it's geared a little bit toward breast cancer, but, I think we also are leaning into all cancers because I think everyone has been affected. We've had players very, very personally affected recently with cancer. So, it's a cause that we all know is so important, and we not only need to raise awareness and have concern, but we need money because we need to beat cancer as a society, and funds are going to be able to create the research and things to make those things happen.
Maddie's going to be honored before Friday's match. How have you seen her find her role and excel this year?
Maddie just came in guns a-blazing, and I think it was pretty easy well, I shouldn't say it was easy because I think she will say it was a harder transition than she anticipated, but the demeanor that she brings onto the court every day, the effort, she sets a tone day in and day out, if it be during practices or matches, and she's just a fight. She's a kid that you want in a libero jersey because she's a run-through-the-wall sort of kid.
Why harder? You said it might be harder. She might say it was harder.
I think both she and Elise, they'd been in the same place for 4 years, and coming in, I think they will say the team was awesome to them, but it's just different. And so the different was hard, and I think they thought it might have been easier than it was. And they'll say it in like a really positive way, but I think anytime anything's new, it's challenging, right? And I think they both were leaders on their team, and so trying to find that balance of how much voice should I have early to when is my voice heard? I got to build relationships before I can use my voice. I mean, I think they have a pretty high EQ, and so they were trying to figure all those things out. So, and a lot of those things just take time to get comfortable.
What is the best, or what is your favorite birthday gift you have ever received?
My favorite birthday gift I've ever received.
21 birthdays.
21 birthdays to choose from. My favorite birthday gift, I don't know. I will tell you, my husband 1 year was nervous about the birthday gift. I think he was my boyfriend at the time, and he had a list, like 3 gifts, and I said, we'll save the best one for last. So he first gives me perfume. I'm like, oh, this is good. And then gives me something else. I'm like, this is good. And then the third one, I'm like, this is going to be great. He gave me lumbar support for my car. And I was like, what is this? He's like, I think you'll love it. And I was like, okay, we need to have some education on which gifts I'm going to like. So that is brought up every year. He's learned of prioritizing, so I guess that wasn't my favorite gift, but.
Do you have back pain?
No! I had no issue. By the way, I hate lumbar support. I did not use it.
When you turned 40, the players dressed up 80s retro style.
They did?
Yes. Are you curious?
I have no recollection of that.
Are you curious what this group's going to do for 5-0?
I guess I'm anticipating them not doing anything, so we'll see. All I want is a good practice. That's what I want for my birthday from them. Thanks, guys.